Maria Gerwing Hampton has been a strong presence and had a major impact on the local economy for many years, most recently as Vice President and Regional Executive of the Louisville branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Hampton, who has been in charge of the local Fed branch since 2005, is retiring December 31st. The gregarious and upbeat executive leaves behind a more than 40-year track record of service in both the nonprofit and business sectors. Before joining the Fed branch, she was president of the nonprofit Housing Partnership, which promotes access to affordable housing and neighborhood redevelopment. Hampton began her career here in the marketing department of Liberty National Bank and Trust Company, which later was acquired and became Bank One Kentucky. During her 26 years at the bank, she was an executive in several banking areas. Always a cheerleader for Louisville, Hampton has devoted many hours to board service for several businesses and organizations. She was recognized by Leadership Louisville with the Spirit of Yes Award in 2011. And tonight, she's honored as Business First Excellence and Leadership Award winner for 2014 in recognition of her dedicated service to the Louisville business community.
With support from more than 20,000 donors, Fund for the Arts helps distribute the message that the arts are an integral part of a vibrant community. As the oldest United Arts Fund in the country, Fund for the Arts has raised more than $188 million since it was established in 1949 by then Louisville Mayor Charles Farnsley as an umbrella fundraising organization in support of the arts. This year, the fund provided more than 400,000 arts experiences for children and awarded more than 150 grants to schools and community centers. Also, an innovative micro-funding site launched by the fund several years ago reached a milestone of $1.5 million raised. Called powertogive.org/Kentucky, it has supported more than 150 arts projects. This year, the fund also saw a successful management transition as Kristen Boone was hired as president and CEO, taking over the Fund for the Arts leadership from Barbara Sexton Smith. A cancer support community for adults and children, Gilda's Club Louisville, Inc. fosters the optimism, humor, and whimsy of its namesake, comedian Gilda Radner, herself a victim of cancer. The local Gilda's Club organization can claim strong accomplishments in 2014 that help it meet its important mission. As a result of two bequests, Gilda's Club Louisville doubled its endowment fund to more than $2 million. Karen Morrison, president and CEO, says this will help ensure Gilda's will be here as long as cancer is. The number of monthly events offered at Gilda's has increased 172%, with participation up 51% since its first year in 2008. This year, a social worker joined the Gilda's team as manager of possibilities. That led to outreach efforts and the ability to draw in still more people. Gilda's Club is growing, as there are now about 65 support groups that meet there monthly, up from just 28 just 6 years ago. The growth in its programs and services is leading to a challenge going forward: how to accommodate growing demand for Gilda's Club services. Veterans and their families are receiving more help thanks to expanded services from Volunteers of America of Kentucky, Inc., which serves Louisville and a 5-state region. The not-for-profit group secured Veterans Administration and Labor Department grants totaling about $3 million to assist Louisville's veterans and their families who struggle with housing and employment issues. VOA of Kentucky also secured a $1.4 million federal grant to double the capacity of its Freedom House Women's Addiction Recovery Program, which helps pregnant women deliver healthy, drug-free babies. And the organization secured partners and funding for capital renovation of its Shelby Street Clinical Campus. This year also saw VOA enjoy its first full year in its new home, the renovated Guthrie Koch building downtown, where it is the anchor tenant. Many others also support the nonprofit's mission. VOA of Kentucky, which was founded in 1896, attracted almost 1,500 volunteers last year who contributed in-kind support valued at more than $300,000.
Capture Higher Ed uses big data and technology to help colleges and universities find students who fit their particular missions. Often this involves pushing the electronic marketing edge to get out a message via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and student blogs. This past year saw several huge gains for Capture Higher Ed as sales increased about 350% and the number of employees grew to 26. Capture Higher Ed also landed its first large public state institution as a client, created an internal advisory services team, and improved its abilities to launch campaigns for its partners. One of its biggest challenges, however, is time. With only 3 years under its belt, Capture Higher Ed goes against competitors that have a combined 60-plus years in the industry. But Capture Higher Ed's employees are committed to working harder, working smarter, and proving themselves in the industry. Founded in 2013, Epic Insurance Solutions, LLC, has already integrated 4 major acquisitions into its new organization, growing to 64 employees. The agency also brought in more than $10 million of new premiums in the past year. The company also has been on the move. Epic's main Louisville office moved into 15,000 square feet of space, and the company also opened an office in Lexington. Founder Donald Thompson says a strength of the company is that it's locally owned, and all major client decisions are made here. Also, a strong emphasis on the Epic 11 culture encourages employees to take to heart the core values of the high-energy company. Going forward, plans call for Epic Insurance Solutions to continue to acquire small agencies or seasoned producers in Louisville and Lexington. The goal is to reach $12 million in revenue and 90 employees by the end of next year. Big names such as Yum Brands, Humana, and Google are all jumping on the bandwagon of Interapt LLC, a high-tech development and strategy company. These large companies have signed long-term agreements to work with Interapt. The Louisville startup, founded by Encore Gopal, is so attractive because it uses cutting-edge technology to increase revenue or reduce operational costs by millions of dollars for large businesses. In October, Interapt announced that it is one of 10 companies globally to partner with Google in a program to explore Google Glass, a wearable technology device. Interapt will also build enterprise solutions as a certified Glass at Work partner. Interapt competes with Silicon Valley firms for work and has found that being in Kentucky is an advantage. The company can charge about 30% less. Meanwhile, it also reaps the benefits of city and state support.
"21C Museum Hotels, LLC is busy extending its brand of artistic hospitality from Louisville to the South and West. The first 21C Museum Hotel opened here about 8 years ago, anchored by a contemporary art museum with exhibitions and cultural programming. Now there are 2 more 21C hotels up and running, in Cincinnati and in Bentonville, Arkansas. Construction continues on a 21C in Durham, North Carolina, and still more are being developed in Lexington, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, and Nashville. The company is receiving rave reviews. 21C Cincinnati debuted as the #1 hotel in the United States in the annual Condé Nast Travelers Reader's Choice Survey. 21C Louisville took the top spot for hotels in the South, while 21C Bentonville placed #2 in the South. Meanwhile, travelers are enjoying a new model for both hotels and museums, and a fresh way of experiencing contemporary art. This past year, FranNet LLC went international with the concept of matching aspiring entrepreneurs with franchise opportunities. The company expanded into Europe by opening offices in Germany and the United Kingdom. President and Chief Operating Officer Jana Bailey thinks there are entrepreneurs all over the world seeking the right business opportunity, and FranNet intends to be there for them. That's why FranNet plans to expand further into Europe, the Middle East, and Australia. Recently, the company purchased FranchiseWorks.com, an online lead generation tool for franchisors seeking to increase their pool of potential franchisees. Proven Match is another new tool the company offers to aid franchise companies in recruiting and identifying ideal franchisee candidates. Such measures are driving fast growth at the Louisville-based company. For the 5th year in a row, FranNet placed on the Inc. 5000 list of the fastest growing companies in the United States. A new product launch for a new audience led to lots of excitement at Ruby Red Tea Company this year. The beverage company creates, packages, and distributes bottled organic red tea made from the South African rooibos bush. In March, Ruby Red launched a new beverage line for children called Ruby Roo. Like the tea for adults, Ruby Roo is also full of antioxidants and is caffeine-free. To celebrate the new product, the company sent its first 100 cases of Ruby Roo to the family rooms at the Kosare Children's Hospital in downtown Louisville. Our goal, says Chief Tea Officer Heather Howell, was offering patients and their loved ones full access to a healthier beverage option with the hope that it made a small impact in their fight for improved health. And major suppliers are noticing Ruby Red Tea. The company received orders from Kroger Company stores in Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, as well as other well-known groceries in the South, Midwest, and West.
This family-owned 4th-generation roofing company puts a priority on developing its people. American Roofing and Metal provides residential, commercial, and industrial roofing, as well as custom fabrication and installation. 3 cornerstones for American Roofing are safety, quality, and efficiency. And safety always comes first. Company officials say that in the contracting and construction business, many aspects of an individual's professional success can be left to luck and timing. To even the playing field, the company has implemented extensive training programs to help its employees succeed. These include clear guidelines for field staff and development tools to help employees master the skills they need. Among recent company success is the opening of a new office in Lexington, which is beginning to show great potential. Future plans call for more expansion, possibly into Cincinnati and Indianapolis. These are exciting times for Community Bank Shares of Indiana, Inc. and its 2 subsidiaries, Your Community Bank and the Scott County State Bank. Your Community Bank is celebrating its 80th year by growing relationships in Metro Louisville and building its brand in Lexington, Kentucky. Last year, Your Community Bank acquired First Federal Bank of Lexington and expanded its footprint by adding 3 new financial centers in the Lexington market. Through the acquisition, the bank assumed about $93.9 million in deposits and acquired about $100 million in assets. And earlier this year, the bank began the process of acquiring First Federal Savings Bank of Elizabethtown. The company's other subsidiary, Scott County State Bank, is marking a big anniversary as it enters its 125th year of service. A new location that opened last year in Austin, Indiana, already has increased Scott County Bank's total deposits by $1.4 million. Mr. P Express shifted into high gear this year with growth in all aspects of its trucking business as a result of the increased demand in the transportation industry. The higher volume of business has prompted Jeffersonville-based Mr. P to invest in more equipment, hire more people, and improve its operations. The company expects 30 new tractors to arrive before the first of the year and plans to purchase more in the first quarter of 2015. The company's safety and training department is being renovated with state-of-the-art equipment and a new smart classroom to further efforts to recruit and train drivers. And more employees were hired for the company's after-hours office staff as a result of industry demands. Meanwhile, a major asset is the company's newly renovated website that sees steady volume daily from potential customers, as well as job seekers. The new site has tripled the company's pool of contacts.
In the past year, Century Mortgage Company made broad changes to its management and operational structure in anticipation of new federal rules and changes in the mortgage industry. The improvements streamlined processes, reduced costs, and identified new methods of measuring, analyzing, and predicting Century's business results. Century now can transfer mortgage loans directly to Fannie Mae or Ginnie Mae in a process that cuts out the middleman, which, according to CEO Monica Bone, brings greater profits and more opportunities to expand. In October, Century officials were invited to the White House to provide a briefing on the challenges and successes of community lenders. Previously, Century officials participated in several private briefings to the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. Going forward, Century intends to grow its business actively in 2015 by capitalizing on structural and management changes made this year. While other lenders have cut back, Century is positioned for gains. HMS Global Maritime Incorporated set a strong course for success this year in both overnight cruises and government services, according to President and CEO John Wagner. Through its American Queen Steamboat Company division, the maritime company offers Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee River cruises on the opulent Victorian-style American Queen. In April, HMS launched its second overnight riverboat, the American Empress, to provide guests with week-long river cruises on the Columbia and Snake Rivers in the Pacific Northwest. The company's government services division, Seaward Services, also had a strong year. It received a $26 million contract to support the South Florida Ocean Measurement Facility near Fort Lauderdale. Seaward will provide materials, equipment, vessels, and other services for the facility's operations into 2019. In the next few years, HMS plans to pursue new opportunities for more government and ferry services as it works to increase its presence nationally and internationally. Strategic Communications LLC marked its 20th anniversary this year with several huge gains. The information technology product and services company specializes in voice, data, and video. According to President and CEO Kathy Mills, the company saw a 40% increase in employees nationwide since last year and also expanded its Louisville office. Recently, Strategic added several new small and mid-sized businesses as clients and entered into a joint venture that will enable it to pursue more opportunities in the federal sector. Most significantly, Strategic won a 10-year federal contract managed by NASA for government information technology and related services. And for the fourth year in a row, Strategic Communications placed on the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest-growing private companies in the nation. Looking ahead to 2015, the company plans to roll out cloud-based managed services such as remote monitoring, disaster recovery, backup, and storage.
Delta Dental of Kentucky, Inc., the oldest and largest dental insurance carrier in the state, was licensed almost 50 years ago. But the company is still growing. In January, Delta Dental gained almost 16,000 new subscribers, and more than 90% of licensed dentists in Kentucky participate in Delta Dental's premier PPO network. This past summer, Delta Dental's claims processing system went online. Now, 91% of claims are processed and paid without any manual intervention. Company officials are proud of their loyal, long-term clients and attribute that dedication to customer service. On average, the contract length of clients is 10 years, but Delta Dental's largest group has been active with the company for the past 15 years. Delta Dental also supports community outreach efforts. Last year, it provided about $200,000 to initiatives such as a mobile dental clinic in Central and Eastern Kentucky and the Teeth on the Go program of oral health education. In its first year, the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience drew thousands of people to a $12 million artisanal distillery and tourist experience on the Urban Bourbon Trail, opened by Heaven Hill Distilleries, Inc. The unique attraction marked the return of the bourbon industry to Louisville's Whiskey Row. Heaven Hill also has been busy with its other operations. The company invested more than $5 million in its historic Bernheim distillery. In Nelson County, it opened 2 new aging warehouses that represent a $10 million investment for storing an additional 100,000 barrels. Exciting brand launches included the Elijah Craig 23-year-old bourbon, 3 new flavors of Burnett's flavored vodkas, and Evan Williams Kentucky Slush, which is a frozen bourbon-based pre-mixed cocktail. In July, Heaven Hill expanded its product line by acquiring Domaine de Canton French Ginger Liqueur, one of the fastest growing liqueurs in the spirits industry. Texas Roadhouse, Inc. experienced a great year of traffic increases at its casual dining restaurants and also entered its 49th state by opening 2 restaurants in Alaska. Company officials are also proud that Texas Roadhouse was named one of the nation's 50 best places to work for companies with 1,000 or more employees by Glassdoor, a website for employees and employers. Texas Roadhouse joined Starbucks and Chick-fil-A as just one of 3 food service companies on the list. In addition, company founder Kent Taylor, CEO and chairman of Texas Roadhouse, received the Operator of the Year award during the Multi-Unit Food Service Operators Conference in October in Dallas. With more than 435 locations in the United States and 3 foreign countries, Texas Roadhouse is not resting on its laurels. The company is testing a new concept, Bubba's 33, which is a sports-themed restaurant. And during the next few years, company officials plan to add at least 25 restaurants in the United States and to grow internationally as well.